Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's weekend roundup time. So Halo Infinite definitely had a great launch. Got really good reviews. It was the second best-selling game in the US during the all-important month of December. Some publications even named it their game of the year. But now, just a little over 2 months into its launch, it looks like the game is falling on hard times because it looks like players are abandoning its multiplayer. And for Microsoft, that's not great because they made it a point to make Halo multiplayer free. Not a great sign for its once signature franchise. So let's check some numbers. The game definitely started off with a bang. It hit an all-time peak of more than 256,000 players on Steam. But when I checked this week, averaging under 19,000 players over the last 30 days. That is a big drop. It was the 112th most popular game on Steam this week, behind Oxygen Not Included and Divinity Original Sin 2, which has been out for years now. I also checked Twitch this week. Halo Infinite, when I looked on Thursday, it had less than 1,000 viewers across various streams. That was behind NHL 22, Warcraft 3, and Stardew Valley. So, well, Stardew Valley is a great game. I'm not gonna rip Stardew Valley. I love it. All right, but you're rightfully saying, BG, Halo Infinite is not a Steam game. It's a Microsoft game. Lots of people are playing it on that platform. Fair enough. So if we check the Microsoft Store, it's only at number 5 on their most popular games, behind competitors like Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legends, and of course, GTA 5, which will never, ever, ever die. Even when GTA 20 comes out, people will be like, I prefer GTA 5 personally. Forbes also noted that Halo Infinite, even at one point, had dropped out of the store's top 5, albeit just to number 6. But what does this all mean? Well, obviously, every game starts off with a big head of steam. It spikes on a lot of concurrence and then it tails off. That's not really news. But the fact that Halo Infinite has dropped off this quickly seems like a sure sign that people have tried the multiplayer component and they aren't really feeling it. And there's been a lot reported about Halo Infinite's battle pass and how slow progression is. Microsoft has definitely made some tweaks, but also you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And that is definitely true in video games. And that is definitely true in 2022 when there is a ton of competition across every single genre. There's competition in the sim farming genre. There's competition everywhere. So there is definitely competition in multiplayer first-person shooters. So it could be that people checked out the multiplayer and then went back to something else after a few days. That's one strong possibility. Another is that Halo just doesn't have the same brand power that it did 20 years ago. It's 2022, and if you're a teen, maybe Halo just don't hit like it used to. Is that how they talk? I'm so far away from being a teen. I'm closer to being dead than I am to being a teen, but they're playing other stuff. They're playing, I don't know, Roblox. What? Sound off in the comments, teens. Just kidding, I know you are not watching this. So here's another question though. Even if it's true that Halo isn't what it used to be, does that even matter to Microsoft? Because they're about to own Call of Duty and a million other properties, some of which are in the exact same space that Halo Infinite is in. This leads us to a previously unimaginable question. Does Microsoft even need Halo anymore? Maybe this drop in players, while it's definitely bad for the game's future prospect as an ongoing live service game, maybe it's just not that big of a deal for Microsoft and its new all-consuming future. I mean, it's kind of becoming the video game company. So if one of its games isn't doing that great, it can just be like, all right, we'll just go to Call of Duty then. It's just, this is why consolidation is bad. They have no incentive to really improve Halo Infinite, possibly. I don't know. Halo Infinite was supposed to be the big reboot of the series. It's probably not meeting their expectations right now, but again, maybe that's just not as big of a deal anymore for Microsoft. It's so weird to think that. It'd be like if Nintendo just didn't care if a Mario game didn't do well. They're like, well, we'll just go to Splatoon. I don't know. As for Halo Infinite, it's still early though. We're just 2 months in, but yeah, there are already calls to rework various things. Multiplayer still needs some work. So we'll see if Microsoft acts with any sense of urgency. I don't know. We'll see. Microsoft is a very different company now than it was 20 years ago, and Xbox is definitely a different company than it was back in the early 2000s. On to the rest of the stories. Could we be getting a new Assassin's Creed game this year? Sounds like it. Bloomberg reports that a spin-off game that was originally planned as an expansion to Assassin's Creed Valhalla could be coming this year. Now, they said that Ubisoft decided to spin off the expansion in order to strengthen their upcoming release slate. It's codenamed Rift, and it will feature the Valhalla character Basim ibn Ishaq. It will be smaller than the recent full-scale Assassin's Creed games. It's going to trade basically not as many open world environments. There's going to be a greater focus on stealth gameplay. Ubisoft reportedly made the decision to make it a full game in part because they abandoned the every year model of Assassin's Creed games a few years back. Also, their cupboard is just kind of bare this year. Skull and Bones, Beyond Good and Evil 2 are still having development issues. They've also been having problems keeping talent at Ubisoft because low pay, and they've been having a lot of workplace harassment issues themselves. They're the Activision Blizzard of France, basically. Eurogamer confirmed the Bloomberg report saying that they've heard of the project also. They're like, yeah, us too. We heard that too. And they said there are plans to include the city of Baghdad in the spin-off game. Bloomberg says the new Assassin's Creed game will be out late 22 or sometime next year. Microsoft has said yet again they will keep putting Activision Blizzard games on the PlayStation. In documents related to getting regulatory approval for their acquisition of Activision Blizzard, Microsoft President Brad Smith addressed some concerns that upcoming games would be Microsoft only. He said Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement. That's important, and into the future, so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. You might remember that recent reports said that the next 3 Call of Duty games would come to PlayStation. Now it seems like Smith is saying that it would extend beyond that. He also said they're going to do the same for Nintendo consoles, writing, "We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform," talking about the Switch, obviously. "We believe this is the right thing for the industry, for gamers, and for our business." Now, he's obviously not saying they'll do that with all Activision Blizzard games forever. We've already seen Microsoft, they're making some Bethesda stuff exclusive, but for now, it looks like they're playing nice. For now they are. Nintendo had their latest Direct this week, and while we didn't get a release date for Breath of the Wild 2 or any new info on Metroid Prime 4 or Bayonetta 3, there was some good stuff in there, so let's run it down. First and foremost, remaster of Chrono Cross, April 7th. Excuse me for a second. Woo! Love that game. We're also getting a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that's coming in September. That looks great. We also did not get an announcement of a new Mario Kart game, and why wouldn't they? It's only been 20 years. But we did get a lot of DLC announced for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They announced the new Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass because Nintendo is all about brevity these days. It'll have 48 remastered courses. That's a lot. From the series. It's going to come in a bunch of waves. The first wave is in March. We saw a new trailer and demo for Triangle Strategy that's due out March 4th. That looks awesome. Speaking of games coming out soon, they showed a big new trailer for Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. That's coming out in April. Oh, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land is going to have something called Mouthful Mode. It looks cool. I love how Microsoft's like, we're buying every video game company we can get our hands on. And PlayStation's like, well, we're buying Destiny 2. And Nintendo's like, here's our new mode. And everybody's like, we like it. We like it, Nintendo. And they're also making a new Wii Sports sequel for the Switch. There's a spinoff for the Fire Emblem Three Houses in the works, kind of a Dynasty Warriors type game called Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. It is coming out in June. Oh, No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch in the summer, and Portal 1 and 2 are coming later this year. In case you've never played Portal 1 and 2, you should. They're great. We're also getting a new Mario Strikers game, Mario Strikers Battle League. That is due out in June. Well, once again, Star Citizen is changing up its roadmap, and it's not changing in a good way. They're blaming a unique group of people for this change. They're blaming the players. Great idea, guys. Blame the people that gave you $400 million. Earlier this month, Cloud Imperium Games said they're changing yet again the way they present information on their alleged progress on Star Citizen. Now, not to be confused with Squadron 42, which also has not come out and also has no clear roadmap of when it will come out. We're talking about Star Citizen, the multiplayer version. You might remember in 2020, they introduced some updates to increase the transparency of development. So those changes included a progress tracker that was to let players follow along on the work that developers developers were doing. They also introduced a new section called Release View, and that let players see what features they were planning for the game in the future. But now they've decided that was a big mistake because, quote, it put too much attention on features that had a high probability of shifting around, aka not coming at all. They wrote, "It has become abundantly clear to us that despite our best efforts to communicate the fluidity of development and how features marked as tentative should sincerely not be relied upon, the general focus of many of our most passionate players has continued to lead them to interpret anything on the release view as a promise." So now in response, they're just getting rid of the release view section. They're not showing any work in progress on the roadmap side other than what is coming in the next quarter. This, of course, really pissed off Star Citizen fans who immediately memed the decision to death. One popular thread on the game's subreddit was titled, "It's all our fault for having expectations." If you have expectations and you're a Star Citizen backer at this point, that's on you. Others canceled their subscription. One fan criticized the glacial pace of development on the game, writing, "Is CIG under the impression that they delivered something? 2012, this was a space exploration game with 185 systems. 2022, we have one system with prison outfits and coffee." Yikes, well, at least you got coffee. All right, time for a 5-second review. Did you ever play Kung Fu on the NES? This reminds me of that, except better graphics. All right, let's talk about the games coming out next week. First up, Infernax is the adventures of a great knight who returns to his homeland only to find it plagued with unholy magic. Uncover the mysteries of the curse and face the consequences of your actions. It comes to PC, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch February 14th. Next up, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This is a new release in the Empires series featuring a mix of thrilling action and country capturing simulation. Experience the human drama of the Three Kingdoms in a way only Empires can provide. Fight exciting castle sieges and manipulate the country's politics. Welcome to the Empires experience. Comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch February 15th. King of Fighters 15. Since its debut in 1994. Oh, that was when I graduated high school. The King of Fighters fighting game series has been driving the world to new heights of excitement with its appealing characters and unique game system. 6 years have passed since the last title in the series, and now King of Fighters 15 surpasses all of its predecessors in terms of graphics, systems, and online experience. Comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PS4 February 17th. Total War Warhammer 3. The cataclysmic conclusion to the Total War Warhammer trilogy is coming. Rally your forces and step into the realm of chaos, a dimension of mind-bending horror where the very fate of the world will be decided. Will you conquer your demons or command them? It comes to PC February 17th. And last but not least, Horizon Forbidden West. Ooh, it's a big one. Join Aloy as she braves the Forbidden West, a majestic but dangerous frontier that conceals mysterious new threats. Explore distant lands, fight bigger and more awe-inspiring machines, and encounter astonishing new tribes as you return to the far future post-apocalyptic world of Horizon. The land is dying. Vicious storms and an unstoppable blight ravage the scattered remnants of humanity, while fearsome new machines prowl their borders. Life on Earth is hurtling towards another extinction, and no one knows why. It's up to Aloy to uncover the secrets behind these threats and restore order and balance to the world. Along the way, she must reunite with old friends, forge alliances with warring new factions, and unravel the legacy of the ancient past, all the while trying to stay one step ahead of a seemingly undefeatable new enemy. It comes to the PS5 and the PS4 February 18th. That's all the news I got for you this week. Hope you're having a great weekend, guys. We'll see you soon.